Let's move down here, this cowboy. That was fun. Let's do it again. Get away. Okay, Hickok 45, having too much fun. Because I have a firearm, it's easy to have fun with. Yes, this is the Sphinx 3000. You might have caught a glimpse of it in another earlier video. This is a competition model. This is Sphinx to the extreme. This is one of their expensive pistols that you might have heard about but haven't seen yet. Happens to be owned by a friend of mine, gunsmith, and I didn't really realize he had it. And we brought it out during the video earlier with the Sphinx SDP video, but just teased you a little bit with it. This is an incredible piece of machinery, and I see why it is so popular on the competition circuit in Europe. If I were still doing a lot of matches, man, I would like to have one of these myself, because it just is everything you need. Let me show you. It's that typical standard. Let me make sure it's very clear, because the breakdown, you line up back here and it gets a little awkward sometimes. There you go, right like that. And I didn't bring my, I think I can just pop it with this, yeah. Block of wood or something, there we go. You open her up. Look at those long internal rails, and just the precision is incredible. This one has an aluminum frame. You can get these in titanium and everything else. The Sphinx is famous for making, this incredibly precision machine. In fact, they started their business in 1876, just making tools and that sort of thing. And they really wanted to get into the firearms business, I think, so they got right on that. 100 years later, in the 1980s, they started making firearms. And then in the 1990s, get it right in a minute, in the 1990s, they started making the 2000 models, and then on into later in the 90s, I think, or early 2000s, they started making the 3000. And these all have evolved from the CZ75. There's no pretense about that. This basically is an enhanced, improved, better CZ, firearm. And just, the internal rails and the way that slide fits on there with such precision, that full length, and it just feels like a, I don't know what Lamborghini. I've never driven some of these really, really, really expensive cars, the Maserati, the thing. But it's kind of in that category. That's why they sell for between $2,500 and $3,000. Okay, everything about it, high precision. And I know this is not something that you're looking to buy next week probably, but I thought it'd be interesting to bring it to you since I could. And I get a kick out of any firearm, to tell you the truth, no matter what the name is or how much it costs. If it's an interesting, well, I've had this apart 2 or 3 times. What's wrong with me here? So I'm being a klutz. Since I am being a klutz, the barrel really locks in there, kind of like a SIG. It's see how that serious lockup, and of course it's basically the John Browning design, right? There we go. I must not have had it up in there all the way. The tolerances are close. I mean, they just really are. These are probably if not one of the very best firearms you can buy right out of the box. Just put together as best almost anybody can put together a firearm or a piece of machinery like this. Known for being accurate and known for being reliable. The owner of this one, by the way, is a gunsmith. And he builds guns. He has built guns. He could build any gun he wants. He actually used this one in 3 gun matches quite a bit. And he says this one he stopped counting after 120,000 rounds. And it's got more than 120,000 rounds, 9mm through it, of all varieties. He used to take it to 3 gun matches around the country, and would just buy ammo when he got there. It would feed anything. He says he was even stuck having to buy hollow points sometimes. It just feeds it. sounds, sure as we say that, we'll have malfunction right today. But we're just going to shoot it. It's again, the things that make it I guess so expensive are the materials and the precision machining, the hand fitting. It's got the Bomar style sights on it. You know, it's just, the trigger is unbelievable. If you've ever picked up a firearm that has a nice trigger like this one, oh man, you just want to shoot it and not stop. It's a really nice trigger. It is single action. You notice you cock it and you pop the safety up, you know, kind of a 1911 style there. No decocker on this one. It's not double action. It's just single action. You have to have it cocked to fire. Okay, got that straight trigger. Pretty interesting, huh? Oh man. So this is it right out of the box. The only thing he's done to it in 170 or 25,000 rounds, he said, was that at 75,000 rounds, he replaced the recoil spring. Not because he was having trouble, he just replaced it. I think it's recommended that you replace them before that, so he went ahead and did it. So let's just shoot the thing a little bit. If you've ever fired a really nice old competition gun like this, or one that has a beautiful trigger, you owe it to yourself to try it sometime. They're just so different. You may not want to go back to your carry gun, I mean, I'll warn you, but it's just sweet. Oh boy, the feel of that slide, it's so smooth. It just feels like a precision machine. So, I mean, I'm going to brag on it because it's fun. It's fun to, to have a firearm like this in hand. And I don't think you'll find many people that have anything negative to say about it. It's just kind of top of the line. This company just set out to make the best firearm they could based on the CZ, style and pattern, and that's pretty much what they've done. It's just that not many people can afford to buy one. That's that's the way it is. And you saw, I'm gonna put on that plate again, the rifle plate again, and I don't necessarily hit it. It's 27 degrees, but even as tough as I am, but the red dot up there and that sight picture, I can't blame any of it on that. And the trigger is wonderful. So I'm gonna put it right on there. At least I thought I was. There we go. I was moving around a little bit. Let's try the gong just for kicks. You can almost rapid fire the gong because it's fairly heavy, and of course that's what you want in competition. You're moving around, and you're shooting something right here, and you're moving, and it's just nice to have a trigger that's going to let loose when you want it to. And I was just throwing around. No matter how good your trigger is, it's still easy to miss. But you are moving around, and it just makes it so much easier. You don't have the gun that you're fighting. You've got a beautiful feel. You've got a trigger that just, as soon as you touch it, it lets off. And generally don't get a lot of recoil. Most of your serious competition guns are either compensated or you've got a lot of weight like this to where you're not having to deal with a bunch of recoil. When you fire the gun, it's boom, and they have to go back down and find the target so much. It's really just laying it on there, and it's popping it. Beautiful. 2 liter alert. It just makes you want to find a shooting match somewhere and go play. It really does. We got another magazine. Let me see if I can get that trigger really working. I'm gonna move up a little bit. All right. And of course, you'd have it on safe, and you would grasp it, pull it out. I got a couple of them on there. But a trigger that's that light and that crisp, you can just, you go to town. I've not shot it too much. I brought it out yesterday. I've just had it about a day. and I shot a couple of mags through it, and I fell in love. And those of you who have fired a firearm like this with a beautiful trigger, you know what I'm talking about. So in addition to that, you have, of course, such a precision piece of machinery. It's just fun. I may not give it back to him. Do not tell him, but I think I'll just keep it. Tell him I lost it, dropped it in a lake fishing or something. But it's the Sphinx. Again, they're not things you see in your local department store, and it's just interesting to get my hands on this thing. And I appreciate being able to have it and to use it, because I don't know if I'll ever shoot one again. I don't know. They're really high dollar, and you got to really want one, because they're not even easy to find. But this is, you'll hear I think more and more from Sphinx, because they are now, of course, imported by Chris USA, and they're making more carry models and tactical models, and something more in addition to these competition models. So you'll be seeing them more often, and this is kind of what they grew from. This is the firearm. This and the 2000 and even some before that are the ones that those are kind of patterned after, and the ones you hear about that are just amazing pieces of machinery. And the newer models are able to use polymers and get the price down. Still expensive, but not in the $2,500 to $3,000 range, like these. But this is one of those high dollar guns, and boy, yeah, I mean, that slide is it's sweet, and so is that trigger. And if you can't shoot this one, I don't care what the temperature is, reasonably well, you need more practice, because this baby is really shootable. And I can't think of any other lies to tell you about it. I just kind of wanted to bring it to you since I have it, and introduce you, if you're not familiar with, just a really nice competition version of the Sphinx, the Sphinx 3000. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Life is good.